Today I'm going to be creating two completely different makeup looks using the exact same products on either side of my face. A couple videos ago I shared with you what I consider to be the perfect minimal makeup collection that was just made up of 10 products that gave you a ton of options. And in this video I'm going to be sharing even more products as well as techniques that will give you more options creatively within a smaller makeup stash. If you're new here, hi, I'm Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget, beauty, fashion, and lifestyle. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. I got this video idea from Katy Hodges' recent Fresh vs. Fierce video, so just like her, I'm gonna do half of my face kind of fresh, natural, everyday, while the other side is gonna be bold and glam. Let's just jump into it. I already have foundation and brows on, so we're gonna start with concealer. Today I'm using the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer, which is pretty full coverage, but I'll show you two different ways to wear it. So I have decided that this side of my face is going to be the more natural side. So I'm just gonna dab this kind of in a circular shape. And on the glam side, I'm gonna be applying it more as a triangle. So I'm gonna start blending on the fresh side while it's still pretty wet, and I'm using a damp sponge. This is from EcoTools. And the damp sponge is going to just shear it out and spread it a little bit easier, while the fierce side, it's already starting to set before I blend. Now on my glam side, I'm gonna be blending out with a brush, which helps maintain more of the coverage versus a sponge, as well as the fact that it's already been setting as I blended this side out. I'm just gonna go in with a patting motion, kind of keeping that triangular shape. So this will add a little bit more of an obvious highlighting effect versus just evening out skin tone. I don't know if you can already see a difference, but I'm definitely getting more coverage on the glam side with the brush. Now I am going to set both sides just the same with my Coty Airspun powder to keep it from creasing. I'm priming both eyes with the Covergirl Lid Lockup Eye Primer. So a new palette actually popped into my head when I thought about what products to use in this video. So I'm gonna be using the BH Cosmetics Laviedunprince palette. This is only a couple months old and it is so perfect for those of you who love subtle everyday looks with neutrals but also like to play with color. So I'm going to use the shade Horchata as my base shade on both eyes. On the subtle makeup side, I'm gonna go in to Migrate as my transition shade, and just on a big fluffy blending brush, I'm putting that just slightly above my crease. I guess I should probably call this side more neutral versus subtle because it's not necessarily gonna be like no makeup, just something a little more wearable for every day. For my glam eye, I'm gonna go into Monarch as my transition shade, which is sort of an orange leaning coral. Can we just talk about this pigmentation? All of these bright shades translate beautifully onto the skin, exactly how they look in the pan. In my outer corner and crease on the neutral side, I'm going into the shade Cocoa, which is a nice medium brown, but it's just deep enough for my skin tone to use as a crease shade. And I'm really gonna focus that on the outer corner, only slightly bringing it into the crease, but I'm not gonna sweep it all the way from corner to corner, just to add a little bit of dimension. On the bold and bright side, I'm going into Sueño, which is this high intensity purple, and that is what I'm gonna be working into my outer corner and crease. Also, something I wanna point out about this palette that I love is that it's mostly matte. We only have 2 shimmer shades, and why I think that is so great for a palette like this is that it gives you more versatility on how you can use the shades. Because with shimmers, typically you wanna use that on the lid or as a highlight, but mattes you can put wherever your heart desires. I mean, really you can put any shade wherever the heck you want, but there is sort of a method behind where you put certain finishes. Okay, so with this purple, I'm also bringing it onto the outer third of my lower lash line, just like that. And I'm gonna go back into Monarch and blend that out slightly. Now, just to be a little extra, I'm gonna go into Lavied. Am I saying that right? And I'm gonna use that to blend the purple into the coral a little bit better. So for this, I'm just gonna be tapping in between the 2 shades and kind of get that gradient going. I'm also gonna bring that kind of towards the middle of my lower lash line. On the neutral side, I'm using Brillo to highlight right under my brow bone. It is the most beautiful neutral champagne shade. And this is the same shade that's gonna go on the lid. So I'm patting that onto the lid space and a little bit into the inner corner as well. And in the inner corner, I'm just gonna pack it up a little bit for more of an impact as far as highlighting goes. But on the lid, we're keeping it pretty sheared out. So on the neutral side, shadow's done. This is subtle, but it still adds definition and a little bit of glow with the shimmery shade. Let's finish up the bright side. So on this side, I am gonna cut my crease, just going in again with the Covergirl concealer. And on this side, Metamorphosis is gonna be going on my lid, which is this really neat duochrome. It's sort of a peachy gold shade. I'm just packing that on for maximum effect. And just taking the purple shade to help blend that in with each other. And just go ahead and pat it right over that line of demarcation and then go back and forth. I'm also just gonna pat a little bit of Monarch over that line of demarcation to help blend it as well, because that matches the peach in that duochrome. And again, to highlight, I'm gonna go into Brillo for my brow bone and inner corner. You know what the neutral side reminds me of? It reminds me of the old school Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells trio. I feel like that's the vibe that I kind of did today. Moving on to liner, I'm only using pencil on both eyes. This is the Believe Beauty Long Lasting Eyeliner. One of my favorites right now. It's a retractable crayon style. On the neutral side, I'm just gonna be tight lining on the upper waterline. Really getting in between my lashes. Now I am also gonna be tight lining on the Glam eye, but I'm also gonna be applying above the lash line and then smoking out the liner in a flared shape with a small angled brush. I'm also bringing that down onto my lower lash line, just in the outer portion. And to get this to look smoky and edgy, I'm kind of pushing the liner up into my outer corner to blend out the edge. Kind of going for like a smoky wing. Today I'm gonna be using the Rimmel Wonderluxe mascara. For the neutral eye, I'm actually using the underside of the mascara wand because that side of the wand does not pick up as much product, but it still separates and really coats the lashes. So it's gonna add a little bit more of a natural effect. To contour, I'm using my Physicians Formula Organic Wear Sculpting Bronzer. This is my absolute favorite product to contour with. Similarly to how we did the concealer, I'm going to apply it on the Glam side first and just kind of let it sit, but I'm gonna blend out the neutral side right away. Using a flat top kabuki brush on both sides, I find this to be the best tool to blend out cream products, especially if they are on the thicker side. So I'm blending upwards in a circular motion, just shearing this side out, trying to make sure there's no harsh lines left over. All right, that side's done. Now going into the Glam side, which has slightly set in the time it took to blend out the natural side. And on this side, I am blending upwards, but I'm kind of going more so in a patting motion, so I'm not spreading the product around. I'm really keeping it concentrated in the hollow of my cheek. And that's gonna create a much sharper effect. For blush, going in with another cream product, this is the Honest Beauty Cream Cheek Blush. Using my Real Techniques stippling brush. On the natural side, I'm just gonna go in really lightly patting, staying super light-handed with this. That's as much as I'm adding. On the Glam side, gonna be a little bit more heavy-handed, really working that color into the cheek so that it shows up. And I love the Coral Peach shade because it's definitely gonna match the eye look really well. Still want the eyes to be the highlight of this side. Speaking of highlight, let's move on. So I'm gonna be using the AOA Studio Wonder Highlight. So just using kind of a looser, fluffy highlighting brush, I'm going to go straight into it and right onto the face on the neutral side. This is the shade Cream Puff, by the way. Now for the Glam side, I'm gonna wet my brush first, and that will pick up a lot more of the reflective quality of the highlight. And we'll tap that on. You automatically already see that beautiful beam of highlight. Ugh, it's freaking gorgeous. So on this side, we definitely have the highlight noticeable, but just a little bit of a softer appearance. Bam, this side, it's in your face. To finish this face off, I'm gonna use a lip product that complements both sides. This is the L'Oreal Signature Rouge lipstick in the shade Tease. Sort of an almond brown shade. And here we are, the two finished looks. I did go into the glam side again to blend out my liner just a little bit more. It was looking kind of blunt. It was bugging me. I'm sure it was bothering you too. But here's what you can do with the same group of makeup products, just such different vibes on the spectrum of glam. I'd love to know in the comments if there's another palette you would recommend me do this type of video with and really show the possibilities of all the shades. Today's shout out goes to Tracy. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next where I share some news about new makeup releases and whether or not I'll be purchasing them. I'll see you over there. Bye!